Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are here today to organize an webinar on the academic planning for robotics study abroad. This webinar today among us, we have Dr. Juan Rahiman from University Science Malaysia as our chief guest and also the keynote speaker. We also have today Dr. Imran Mahmood, Associate Professor and Head of the Department of Software Engineering of Daffodil International University. I, myself, Kaushik Sarkar, Associate Head of the Department of Software Engineering. Then we have Sharmin Ahmed, Senior Lecturer of the Faculty of Engineering in the Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Then we have Mr. Mohammad Hafizul Imran, Lecturer of the Software Engineering Department, as well as the lab in charge of Daffodil Robotics Lab. Good afternoon to you all. So our program is scheduled in such a way. I'll explain the schedule first, so that if anyone of us get interrupted by the communication, we'll move on according to the plan. First of all, Hafizul Imran will show the Daffodil Robotics Lab activities as well as talk about the Robot Nakshatra 2021. Then we'll move on to Sharmin Ahmed, who will share about her experience during her study in the abroad. And then session with the keynote speaker, Dr. Juan Rahman, who will present a session regarding the academic planning in the area of robotics study. And finally, Dr. Imran Mahmood, who will conclude this session with the vote of thanks. So without further saying, let us move into the program. I would request Hafizul Imran to share the activities of the Daffodil Robotics Lab and also talk about the Robot Nakshatra 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, Hafizul Imran. Hafiz, please carry on.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Hafizul Imran. Now I am presenting at a glance of Robot Nakshatra 2021. So, what is Robot Nakshatra? So, Robot Nakshatra is a platform where innovators from our country can showcase their innovative idea through 3D design. This is a place where they can choose any of the category that allowed in the competition and design their innovative idea in a form of 3D model to submit to showcase this competition through virtual gate. After that, expert judge panel will evaluate their 3D design and announce the title of winners and championship. After that, finally, they will get a fund from all winners will get fund from this assure. So participants. So participants from different school, college, and university and professionals are participating in this assure. So total number of participants we have selected in total 30 teams in preliminary selection for this Robot Nakshatra 2021. And these are the project category from where participants will select one of these category and design their ideas through 3D design, 3D model, and submit their ideas in this competition. So these are prosthetic arm, prosthetic leg, smart wheelchair, robotic mosquito killer, reverse surface cleaning robot, and autonomous delivery robot. These are the all categories that we are allowed in this assure. So what are the steps in this assure? First of all, registration. Second is preliminary selection, and third is training and workshop. We already did these three steps already. We have already done it, and we are now in this stage designing and 3D model. In this stage, participants are designing their innovative idea in the form of 3D design. After that, they will submit with necessary files in for final competition and showcase their design through virtual gate. So what will winner get? So from this assure, the champion will get 100,000 BDT, and a second winner will get 50,000 BDT, and third winner will get 50,000 BDT. So this Robot Naksha Asho 2021, proudly organized by Daffodil Robotics Lab and hosted by Department of Software Engineering, Daffodil International University, and proudly sponsored by Felicity IDC and Daffodil Computers Limited. We have with us event partners, Bangladesh Robotics Foundation and JCI Dhaka Heritage, and also we have media partners, Campus TV. So this is all about this Robot Naksha Rasho 2021. Now I would like to present Daffodil Robotics Lab promo video.
Since we're having a problem with the sound, so I can at least describe in parallel. We have a 1800 square feet lab in the Daffodil Smart City. We have two sections in the lab. The one section is for the students to conduct their classes and develop the robots in the makerspace, and the other section is all about the robotics research. And they have a lot of machines and high performance computers and devices in the lab. Many of the devices have been bought from Japan, from China. These robots are from China. Ubitech robot and Daffodil Robotics Lab has affiliation with other organization in the world, such as UiPath and then Ubitech, UR Robots, all of them. It is to be mentioned that Daffodil Robotics Lab already have developed, this is their first robot, developed by Mr. Hafizul Imran and in association with the Robotics Lab, and the advisor in that time was Suzuki, Professor Takayoshi Suzuki from Japan. He is also the visiting professor of our department of this university. We already have facilitated in many programs. This is the virtual ceremony of the university. This is another ICT program of the university where we performed with the robots. We have offered a major in robotics and embedded systems under the software engineering program. This is the cruiser robot. This section is the research and development section of the robotics lab. This lab was actually prepared and developed in 2020. It was finished in 2020 due to the pandemic outbreak. We started our major program in the lab in 2021.
So this is all about from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hafizul Imran. It is, we are proud to mention that this webinar is proudly presented by the Daffodil International University and University Science Malaysia from the Department of Software Engineering and Mechatronics, respectively. So now I would move on to the next guest, Sharmin Ahmed, Senior Lecturer, Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, Daffodil International University. I would request her to share her experience, and she is also the one of the judges of the Robot Nakshatra 2021. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for giving me the chance. Assalamu alaikum. I am Sharmin Ahmed. Actually, the webinar arranged by the two universities named Daffodil International University and University Saints Malaysia. I am solely connected to both of them because I am alumni of University Science Malaysia, and I am a faculty member of Daffodil International University since 2016 in Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering. I will just move into my master's journey within a couple of minutes because I want to share my experience with all of you. Because many of the students who have graduated in CSC or in software engineering or in Triple E or even in mechanical engineering, they are very eager and very keen to do their higher studies in robotics. The matter of the fact is, in Bangladesh, we don't have that much aspects and prospects guided to us, but actually the field is very broad. When you come from a mechanical background, you know how to model the robot, but it doesn't mean when you come from a CSC background you don't know, because when you work with a software, when you want to produce an algorithm, when you want to produce an AI for the robot, you have to know the modeling of the robot. That is what robotic Nakshar Ashur is, where you model the robot, where you can make it, you can design it in AutoCAD. uh, you have to know the degree of freedoms of the robot. Doesn't matter, it's a ground vehicle, it's an underwater vehicle, it's an aeroplane, doesn't matter. You have to understand the basic modeling of the thing, which we call the mathematical modeling. So what I did in my master's, I was given to do a AGV, that means autonomous ground vehicle. Anything regarding autonomous ground vehicle I was supposed to do. So I was a little bit behind on robots and robotics because my major was electronics when I did my bachelor. But trust me, it's very easy if you have the basic concepts. You have to know two things. You have to understand physics and you have to understand the basic algorithms. And if you're working with control system, you have to know the control theory. Mostly mechanical engineers and electrical engineers, we have a course in our bachelor, that is control system. In some of the countries in computer science and software, they also offer control systems. So first of all, if you know the design and the mechanical aspect of a robot, then only you can declare it in the software you want to work. You can connect your hardware to the MATLAB. You can connect the 3D design. You can import from SolidWorks, or you can from the AutoCAD. You can just import and you can declare in the MATLAB. What I did the mathematical modeling from scratch. And why my mathematical modeling is appropriate? Because you have to do a lot of literature review. You have to understand the degree of freedoms. Then only you go to the robot part. So Naksha, I mean designing, it's very, very important. And the basic concepts, you have to be very clear about it. You want to move the arm of the robot, but if you don't know how the arm is modeled, what are the joints of an arm, what are the features, what are the degree of freedoms, what is the motion, how much force it needs, how much pressure it needs, you will not be succeeded in the long run. So I did lane keeping and obstacle detection car, and I had no hardware because I did from the scratch the mathematical modeling. I declared it in the MATLAB, and later I used control system toolbox, model predictive control toolbox, and also somewhat vision toolbox in the MATLAB, and using Simulink I did my master's, and I had some publication during that time. And you're I always feel very proud when I can help any of my students or anyone, because I believe there are lots of audience here. Please feel free to communicate with me if you want any suggestions from me. Thank you very much. That's for all from me.
Thank you, Sharmin Madam. It was very great to know that you did exactly what our students are planning to do, or maybe they have a plan to do such things in future. So today's webinar is all about the study in robotics in abroad, and especially we'll talk about it from the perspective of Malaysia, because they have a world-class university there, and they have this area of interest they are working on. So now, without further saying, I'll move on to the our chief guest, Dr. Juan Rahiman, who is from University Sains Malaysia. He's from the so far I believe he's from the Department of Mechatronics, or in the area his research study is in the area of mechatronics. So I'd like to welcome Dr. Juan Rahiman for his speech. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Juan Rahiman.
All right. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. Thank you for the organizer. First of all, I would like to thank Daffodil International University for inviting me to present a little bit of my research work, and also to give a brief information of which research or area that might interested you in robotic field, and then you're probably interested to enroll as postgraduate students at University of Science Malaysia. So first, let me share my slide presentation. All right. My name is Juan Muhammad Yusuf Rahiman, because I have a really long name, so most of them call me Juan Rahiman. So I'm from University of Science Malaysia, from School of Electrical and Electronic, majoring in robotic. So just like Miss Charmin told you, if you want to do a robotic, it's not necessarily that you have a strong background in mechatronic, because my first degree is in mechanical, but I end up with robotic expertise. Okay. My next slide. Okay. Here you can see there are numerous research application that related to robotics. First one is human robot interaction. So in human robot interaction, DARPA is famously known as research development robotic in US. DARPA is the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency. So most of their research studies in human robot interaction. But now this research is more famous due to COVID to assist COVID patient. So most of the area focusing here is for the physical interaction, emotion, opinion, and also for social interaction. And the next one is autonomous robots. So autonomous robots famous among the robotic researcher that is used for industrial application. It can be for navigation. It can be for material transfer, and lots of things that related for the autonomous robot. And then for the integrated robotic systems, it means that the robot integrate with many system in the factory. So mostly for the manufacturing industrial works, there are lots of integrated robotic systems. So and the next one is the learning and communication in multi agent systems. So this ones is focusing more on the artificial intelligence for coordinating a robot that responds to the surrounding environment. For example, you have to interact with the navigation pathline, and also you have to interact with the surrounding and around the robot. And the next one is a legged locomotive. So this research focuses on the stability motion based on animal and human movement. So legged locomotive normally consists of more than two or more legs for the movement. So it's mimicking on the animal or human how they behave while moving from point to point. And another research application is the drones. The drones can be in many things. So the drones mean unmanned vehicle. So it can be for the air, ground vehicle, or underwater vehicle. So drones is famously applied in many area. For example, for military, for civilians, for inspection, and also it can use for give warning to the people during the COVID situation. You can fly the drones, and if you see a pack of people sitting in a group, you can straightly give them a warning so that they have to disperse from that location. So the next one is multi-robot coordination. This is normally involve more than 5 robots together in one application. So it's mimicking animal, for example, the ant. When you have to carry an heavy payload, so you need lots of robot to communicate each other so that it can carry out or it can lift up the heavy object. And then another one is collaborative robots. So means that the robots interact with another robot. For example, you have an AGV, and and then you have to interact with robotics arm. So how this robot interact on each other? So you can see here, this is all of the robotic application. But how about the research area in this application? So for the first one, it's actually consists lots more on the research area. But in here, I just list down 5 of them. First one is the control system. Control system normally used for the to get an effective response time so that the robot can or the systems can have a better response. So that means no delay. There will give the system more effective controller. Okay, another one is simultaneous localization and mapping. So normally we call it a SLAM. So this algorithm developed to navigate the path line of the robot. So it will have a proper and effective navigation. For example, in manufacturing plants, you have lots of choices for the pathway. So you have to find which pathway is much more safest and the shortest one. And another one is optimization. How you optimize your system so that your system of the robot will uh, become more effective and efficient to suit with the particular task. And then another one more is the image processing. Image processing normally used or been implemented to recognize and identify the object, and it also can be used for navigation, right? And then the next one is machine learning. So this machine learning consists of AI, artificial intelligence algorithm, how the machine can learn uh, in order for the machine to perform a better job. For example, if you can see a toddler, so toddler has to learn so uh, many times to pick up and place an object. So this machine with AI features, we can teach the machine to learn to pick and place, because in industry there will be many shape for the machine to pick, and also the object has too many varieties of weight. So if you have lots of shape and different weight, so machine has to learn where and which position the gripper has to pick it up the object. Okay, the next one is in this slide is my previous research project, focusedly on the mobile robot. So you can see here, there's lots of research has been going on only for the mobile robot. So first, before you start with the for your research, you have to learn what is the problem with the previous development. So in here, in the blue box, you can see here, D is the problem that has been identified. So that the AGV, which has low dynamic navigation, where you have the object and person walking around the AGV, then the AGV cannot perform the task perfectly, or there is a problem with the path line. So because of that, if you implemented this AGV in the manufacturing plants, so it will affect or it will impact the productivity of the production line. So because of that, the low incomes, they will give the low incomes to the company. So once we identify of the problems of the previous development, we have to come up with the solution. So in this green box, this is how the solution that I had been proposed before to this AGV project. So in here, you can see lots of development or progress that had already been done. In here, this algorithm for SLAM navigation. And the next one is the image processing, how you identify the object in front of another vehicle. So in here, this is a lead vehicle. So our vehicle has to follow the lead vehicle. So there is a lot of research output that we get it here. First, we have to filter the image because of the intensity of the lights. We have to filter it correctly so that the system can identify the object. So also we can identify how big is the object and the distance from our car into the lead car. So the application here, because here you can see this only for the robot, but what is the real application in real life? The application, it can be made or be applied when we want to have a partial autonomous vehicle when we drive on the highway. So our vehicle just follow the lead vehicle in front of us. So we just leave the steering of the vehicle. We just relax and make sure we just control the gas and the brakes. This what we call the partial autonomous. So this is my first prototype, and we won a robotic competition in Malaysia that had been organized by National Instrument. We are the champion in Malaysia. Then the National Instruments sent us to Australia to compete with Australia team member and New Zealand. All right. So once I have developed this small prototype, we go to the big, a little bit model. So in here you can see the camera, control systems, and then the small computer has been implemented into small model here. So our target is to develop autonomous guided vehicle that can be collaborate into another AGV to perform a fleet or to perform a pack of robots to carry out a heavy payload. And also here, we also develop wireless charging for the AGV. We use this technology from latest development in smartphone. We study how the smartphone can able to do wireless charging. So we implemented this technology into our prototype. Okay, on this slide, you can see in one autonomous vehicle or mobile robot, there's a lot of controller or algorithm has been connected to each other, right? So here you have SLAM. From SLAM you have the map, and then it will connect it to the controller and have a feedback and everything. So in here there are lots of areas can be explored. For example, first you can have a system modeling. From here you have image, you have odometry to calculate the distance, and then from this information you develop the mathematical modeling. So from there are another area that you can explore, which is image processing, and also for the LiDAR data optimization. Okay, and also, and then this area is keep continuing into data acquisition field, artificial intelligence development, machine learning, controller design. So from one mobile robot, there's lots of things you can explore. Okay. Okay, this is my current research project. So, of course, my interest on the drone technology. So I have done with a mobile robot. Now I am exploring another technology of drones. Ground drones are already covered. So now I am exploring myself into flying drones and autonomous surface vessel. So in here, we do lots of things similar to the mobile robot. It will involve the image processing, navigation, and then stability. And then I add up another one more thing. Here is fault detection. How we can detect the fault of the drone, flying drones, from the propeller into the flight controller. From there, I also have another project, which is UVC COVID-19. So this machine, we exploring how we can control the energy of radiation that can be blast into the surrounding. So this our COVID sanitization machine will be connected into image processing, where we have the camera here to detect any signs of possible COVID-19 virus. So we have it's not sophisticated, but uh, complex algorithm for image processing, and how we can identify the the stain on the surfaces. For example, when you sneeze, the droplets will stick on on your table, and then from there we can extract the data by using image processing to identify the possible viruses on the table or on the wall. Okay, on the navigation system, we try to apply intelligence navigation. So in here we have lots of algorithm. We implemented animal, or we call it bio inspired navigation. So this robot, D is the starting point, and D is our target point, and we have three possible uh, three possible path that the robots can choose to reach to the target line, and to reach to the target line. You can see here first line, second line, and third line. So from the algorithm, our robot choosing the first path, uh, the decision been made for the safest, and then the fastest way to reach to the target line. On the algorithm, the robot calculate this line. There are so many obstacles, so it will not be safe for the robot to travel through this line, and this line probably will take more uh, more time to reach to the target line. So based on the calculation, the intelligence algorithm decided to take the first path. Okay, and then I also explore on the precision agriculture. So this is the drone that used to spray fertilization and the pesticide on the paddy field. So we study on the stability and the impact of the drone when flying very close to the ground. So what is the flight management give the response, and then we develop an algorithm to stabilize the flight. Okay, D is the project that I currently being conducted for the robotic application. Okay, D is my achievement so far. In 2020 alone, I managed to publish 6 articles in ISI Indexes journal. So 3 journals for the Q1, 2 journals for the Q2, and 1 for Q3. Okay, and then part of that, so far, after 10 years of servicing and become a researcher in robotics, I managed to secure 13 grants. Then 3 of them from international. I managed to get one from United States, which is called Fulbright, and 2 grants from Japan, and 1 grant from Asian grant. So this grant, all 13 grants is focusing on development of robotic systems. So now 5 grants still active, which is worth than $500,000 US dollar. And then from this grant, there are 9 students still active with me. 6 of them are doing a PhD, and 3 of them are doing master. So MPhil here, I use the term taken from Britain, which is a master philosophy. But in Malaysia, normally they call it just master, because master can be divided into 2: master by research and master by coursework. So MPhil is the master by research. Okay, so if you are thinking to become postgraduate at USM, University of Science Malaysia, I think this is the time you grab the opportunity to study at USM, because now the university allow the research and supervision can be carried out remotely via online platform. Means that you can base in your own country while doing the research. So you don't have to come to USM. You can stay in Bangladesh, and then you can carry on your research. And then once you register as a student, you have to take a research methodology course. This course has been introduced last year, so you have to take this course during your first semester. This is to make sure that you really understand what you are doing, then what you want to achieve on your research. So once you become as a student, you are eligible to apply for the conference fund. Okay, this is the advantage. That's why I tell you, if you're interested to pursue your study for master or PhD, this is the right time. So once you become a student and then you decided to you say you already completed your research for the MPhil, at least 1 article journal has to be accepted or published in journal indexes by ISI or Scopus. And then for the PhD, you have to have 2 articles accepted and published. Okay, so you have to in this article you have to carry USM affiliation, because there is a case when students do the study abroad, they forgot to put USM affiliation. If you forget to put USM affiliation and then you go for the Viva and then you show all the result, then the result will not be counted. Okay, and then this is my suggestion. If you do that, make sure that you have monthly research progress meeting with your supervisor, so that you not be drafted away from the research. And then if you decided to do the research, this is the field that you can explore in USM: drones technology, precision agriculture, renewable energy, and smart city. There are lots of research area can be explored here. For example, for the smart city, how you want to implement IoT, because now IoT is very famous terms. Internet of Things, how you want to put everything in the clouds, how from the clouds, how you want to analyze the performance of the system. It can do remotely through the algorithm. Okay, and then there's a four area that you can explore. Another one more thing, and the first step, if you are lots of staff from the International University decided to do research study in USM, I would like to the first step is to establish a memorandum of agreement between your university and USM, so that from there we can have a proper agreement for the students or for the staff to study here in USM. Okay, thank you very much. That's all from my side.
Thank you, Dr. Juan, for your presentation and for showing us your area of interest, your research, and the future prospect for the students who are willing to do a study in robotics. So, ladies and gentlemen, you already have seen that Dr. Juan talked about, showed us 8 robots, and then he talked about 5 areas of the research: the control system, the SLAM, the optimization, the image processing, and the machine learning. And if you remember, some of you have already asked question about what to do. And if you have seen his slide, then you'll understand that these are the area where you will focus during the application process. And later on, he showed that he's working on a lot of projects that are based on mobile robots. And those participants, the 30 teams, those who are taking part in the Robot Nakshatra Ashur, they are actually designing the mobile robots. If you remember, then that means you are already aligned with the line of what Dr. Juan showed you. So, and then you are asking what are the algorithms of vision learning and navigation system. If you carefully have seen his presentation, he already mentioned the navigation system, the SLAM navigation, and the bio-inspired algorithm that he is following in his application. So there are a lot of algorithms in 3D image processing, the 3D CNNs, and the optical flow, the KTL algorithm, right? The other algorithms. So I think what you can do now, you can focus on what area of study you are going to take part. Some of you may have questions that we have learned about the IoT devices, the Arduino, the Uno board, the Raspberry Pi. All this knowledge will be required to do research in the field. And already Ms. Sharmeen Ahmed, she also mentioned in our communication that if you have the knowledge, it will be added as an advantage. And if you do not have the knowledge, you will still have time to gather the knowledge during your master study and PhD study, because you will have a lot of time to do the research by yourself. So we are towards the end of the session today. Before we go to the end, we have Dr. Imran Mahmood, the department head of the software engineering, and also he's also the head of the department of ITM. He's going to conclude with his experience, because he's also the alumni of University Sains Malaysia, and also the teacher, faculty member. He used to be a faculty member there before coming to Daffodil International University. And then he'll conclude this session with the announcement of the MOA and others. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let us welcome Dr. Imran Mahmood.
Thank you, sir. Now, I was thinking that actually who will thank whom? Because here the students will thank us that what we saw, that lots of opportunities available in Malaysia. Why Malaysia? Because it is very nearby. And it is very easy. I mean, for communication, for accommodation, Malaysia was very easy. And of course, I thank Dr. Juan Rahman to show that what actually you are doing in the field of robotics. When I did my PhD, though, in technology management, so in that time I was thinking that robotics and others, it is like they are making toys. Nothing will implemented. They will just make some toys, and what is the point of doing that? But while Sharmin was doing her masters, that I still realized that I don't understand a single thing what she is doing. It was so difficult, and it needs lots of hard work to do something masters or PhD in robotics and embedded system. I also saw in my department that students are actually very much passionate to learn about this. I said, why you are going for this much difficult things? Just develop software, learn PHP, Java, that's it, .NET, that's it. Why you want to learn this kind of complicated things? Then I saw that they are so much eager to learn, because this is not about just robotics. It needs passion, and also it is a new skills. Like in various seminar we already talk about IR 4.0, IR 4.0, IR 4.0, but this is what we put some bullet points in the PowerPoint, and we talk this robotics, automated robotics, embedded system, this kind of automation, this IoT, these are real IR 4.0. If people have no idea that what is these things, then they actually don't know nothing. They just learn from Google and they're saying something about IR 4.0. This is what our prime minister understood. That's why our government had vision 2041 to improve our socio-economic standing. And to improve our socio-economic standing, you cannot go without this high level of technology. We must know this high level of
We're having a technical glitch, I think. Since Dr. Imran Mahmood was in the Daffodil Smart City, and sometimes the power cuts off, so it will take a few seconds to reestablish the communication. So I'm requesting everyone to wait, have patience. And by the time we can have a few more questions, I already have answered the question and already shared. So is there any specific algorithm that you'd suggest? I'm requesting Dr. Juan to answer these questions. Is there any specific algorithm that a student should know about, either image processing or navigation?
All right. Okay. First, student has been exposed to Arduino, right? So Arduino is a easy learning and open source of software. Once you have a problem with the algorithm, you always find the algorithm that has been developed by other people. But from there, once you establish your confidence in writing the algorithm, you can move into the more complex algorithm, which is in MATLAB. But on the MATLAB now, it's much more easier, because during my time when I did my PhD, there are most probably nothing pages being offered by MATLAB. So I have to develop by my own self on the package. But now, from the MATLAB itself, there are lots of ready package. You just implement it and put your own idea into this package. So it will be easy. But of course, the student has to learn the basic concept, which is with the Arduino, and then slowly move on the MATLAB or another industrial software. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, doctor. And we already have got back Dr. Imran Mahmood.
yeah. This is
Please.
the only the problem that about the electricity in Bangladesh, it is actually a barrier for our development, we can solve. But you can still see that we have hope that I got back within 2-3 minutes. So
Within
we
1 minute.
are progressing now. Anyway, what we say that this kind of thing we are doing, and we are doing also very good as Daffodil International University. Our vision is aligned with the vision of our Prime Minister. And about the MOA, we are already working with Graduate School of Business and School of Management, but and also School of Computer Science. But it is very good, and I told Sharmin before also that to talk with Dr. Juan Rahman. He is not only our mentor; he is also our good friend. That he can suggest that how we can do this kind of things. Lots of students actually go to there, and we know that we have these facilities with University Malaysia Perlis and University Sains Islam Malaysia, that you can do your master's or PhD from here. We have the offshore office at Daffodil International University. We will facilitate you to get admission for your other things, and you can also work in our lab. Okay, so but your degree will be provided from University of Malaysia. We have this service, but for this specific Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, I will be in touch with Dr. Juan Rahman, and we will think that what we can do. And also, I will ask Kaushik sir that you can process that we want Dr. Juan Rahman as an advisor of our robotics lab, and
we
and also our major in software engineering, major in robotics and embedded system, so he can check our curriculum, and if anything needed in our Viva, also in Viva board he can be also an he can come as an external. So it is very nice to see you, Dr. Juan Rahman, and thank you Kaushik sir, Hafizul Imran, to arrange such event. Thank you Sharmin for your valuable insights. So thank you all. Take care, and read. Actually, search in the Google. Don't just think that in China we have just laborers. People of robotics, they normally think that in China they only know how to work on the hardware. That's why they are great. But you don't know how many people are doing higher study in the universities. When I did my masters in England, I saw 50% of my classmates were from China. Okay, so this kind of knowledge is needed. Theoretical knowledge is needed. It is not only about the practical. So that's all. May Allah bless you to your this robotics journey. Assalamu alaikum.
with that being said, we conclude the session. Thank you guests, thank you viewers.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome, Doctor.